So I just finished Wrestle Kingdom. And well, let me just say I watched the final two matches. I have not watched the entire show. So I'm not
Good.
going to judge the show as a whole. I think that would be inappropriate. But I watched the final two matches because that's really all I cared about. Because I have been kind of out on New Japan for I want to say the better part of a year, maybe a year and a half.
Ditto.
And the final two matches were amazing. It also reminded me why I'm no longer really invested all that much into New Japan because all the top stars that I loved in New Japan now work for AEW. And it was evident after the Tanahashi retirement match was over. And one by one, a current AEW star that used to be a main eventer in New Japan came out to thank Tanahashi. It was, it was really quite sad. It was, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Ibushi, Shibata. Oh, dude, the fucking Shibata one got me, man. As soon as Shibata's music hits, and like,
I love that
yeah,
music.
you just first of all, Japanese entrance songs are way better than American. But
Always have been, always will be.
yeah. But Shibata's music hits, and immediately Tanahashi starts crying, and old Mike starts to get a little emotional, and something was happening, and I didn't understand like why there's water. I was like, God damn it, I got to get myself together before I get on this podcast. But he comes out and he hands Tanahashi some flowers, and then immediately like gets in his face, takes his shirt off, and they just start fighting. Like they lock up and start doing chest slaps, and then they gave each other a big hug. But Jay White was another one. Jay White was there, and Keiji Muto was there obviously, and there were several others. I think I think Tenru might have been there, but it was quite shocking to see all those, like, especially like their current still big stars that used to be on these New Japan shows. It was Tatsumi Fujinami. Thank you, King. Tatsumi Fujinami. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to fast forward through some of it so I can get to the show, but it was just quite shocking to see. But I got to say, the main event, Tanahashi's retirement, this might be a hot take, guys. This might be a hot take. The match between Okada and Tanahashi, well, a little bit better than Gunther and John Cena, just by a lot.
I don't think this has much value anymore because it's been destroyed. But Cage Match currently rates it as the highest match of all time. That was before the show. I don't know if that's going to stay like that, but before the show started, it was literally the highest rated match of all time at a 9.83.
Yeah. I had a good conversation over the weekend about Cage Match ratings and star ratings, and we'll actually finish on that. I think you and I should talk about that. It was a good conversation. But,
I'd love to.
Yeah, but the match was just fantastic, and it was evident that it was time for Tanahashi to go. He was not moving around too well, and he has not been in a long time.
Not been for a long time, yeah.
Yeah, I was happy to see him go. The way they did it was fantastic. He was out on a chariot, and like all the former wrestlers and former rivals came down to give him flowers and pay respects to him. And then the match, he did his tributes to Shibata, and he did tributes to Nakamura. Naito came out at one point. Newest Noah wrestler Naito. Oh, JD, that fucking Naito match in Noah, brutal, dude. Just like one of the saddest things you'll ever see in your life.
Naito, I hate this internet phrase, but I'm going to use it right now. Naito is washed.
Yeah.
And has been for a while. That's when he wanted money, and New Japan was like, no. So he's going to go make some cyber fight money. Or no, sorry, Abima money. Pardon me, Abima money. Naito, man.
Yeah.
He only get dropped in your neck so many times.
Dude, so this is I need to be more prepared when I tweet, but I typically tweet the first thing that comes to mind. I'm watching the Noah show, and because I heard the Naito was there, so I'm watching the Noah show, and then like they did this big grand entrance for Naito. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Noah does a great job with that stuff.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, and their video production is like better than everybody's right now,
mm-hmm.
It has been, but they're Yeah, they're tremendous, right? So I do a screenshot because I'm watching it on my iPad. I do a screenshot and I tweet it out. I was like, "Oh, Naito's in Noah now, and I'm here for it." I was like, "This is awesome." And then the bell rings, and I don't tweet for like 3 hours because I get caught up doing something else, and then I come back and I finish the match, and I was like, "This match sucked." And then I quote tweeted that. I was like, "Yep, was not good." And then that guy, our friend Jeremy Feinstone, who was front row for that, got a kick out of that. But Noah is in a sad state right now. If Naito's coming in to be their top star, because and he was still over. He was still Naito, right? Everybody, the crowd loved him, but boy, oh boy, was he not moving well.
I'm going to tell you this: Naito is Noah was a company that was led by Keiji Muto 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
right. Muto was the world champion of Noah not too long ago. That global honor crown was on a man who has to get around in a wheelchair most of the time. So
yeah,
this is kind of what Noah is, man.
yeah, it is. But still, even then, like I still liked some of Muto's stuff during that run. But I just don't see Naito being able to do anything at the level that Muto was doing, and Muto was much older. Like Naito just dropped off. Seemed like overnight almost. You know, he had the one good match with Moxley, I think last year for the title, and then they had a follow-up match and it was terrible. And I think people were trying to put the heat on Moxley. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Yeah, I think people were trying to put the heat on Moxley, but then they shortly realized, like shortly after that Naito was cooked.
Let's be real. The wrestling fans on Twitter specifically will shit on an American wrestler to protect a Japanese wrestler any chance they get, especially the Puro fans. Like anything American is bad.
Yeah.
Everything gets like sanctified. And I like Japanese wrestling too. But sometimes people are a little over the top with how, oh, Moxley's terrible. And then, Naito can't walk. It's a little much. Like these are the same kind of people that were actually angry that Shinsuke Nakamura wasn't going to wrestle Tanahashi. Like, how dare Tony Khan not let a TKO employee take over their show? How dare they? Like,
yeah. Like Tony Khan had anything to do with that. Like some people still believe it. I have not seen any evidence. Nobody's come out and said it. I think people that just for whatever reason are having a trouble believing that WWE just told Nakamura no. That he can't go because it's a rival promotion that works with AEW. They had to come up with some fakakta bullshit scenario that somehow Tony Khan said no, Nakamura can't do it, and it was like Tony Khan's the only guy that probably would let Nakamura do. Like he would, like I think that he would say, yeah, I don't care. Why would I care?
So here's the thing is we as wrestling fans have grown up with the Stockholm syndrome when it comes to WWE. And there's a lot of fans that, Tony Khan did not make a lot of fans early on. And like, I get if you don't like Tony Khan as a person, or even as a booker, whatever. The fact that people are so willing to trumpet up any problems with Tony Khan and ignore anything Vince McMahon or Triple H or any of the problems these other people have had for decades. It's just like I said, it's Stockholm syndrome, right? Yeah. And the fact that it festers into the Puro sphere is even more wild to me. Like AEW is in a stronger place financially than New Japan is. And that's economics. Like Japanese wrestling is not in the place that it was in 2017, 2018. It just isn't.
Yeah.
Like, and this is the way these partnerships go. It would be like that if they're partnering up with WWE. Yota Tsuji can say, hey man, I don't like Tony Khan. I don't like AEW. That's fine. They don't, it's probably mutual. Tony don't bring him in either. Like of all the guys they bring in, Yota Tsuji has not been one of them. I don't think Tsuji's been.
I think he's been there before, but I think, like, I don't mind so if you guys are, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's an interview on the New Japan website that seemed like it was part kayfabe and part not, where Yota Tsuji basically disparaged AEW, saying he didn't really want them around. And that anybody understands why Okada's in the main event, but he would have rather seen Tanahashi lose to a New Japan wrestler. Because I think it's okay to have.
That's why there's no one else but him. It would have been him. That's the one. Of course he thinks that.
But guys, I'm going to say something controversial. I think it's okay to have pride in your company and to think that you could actually do well on your own, even though it might not be true. But I think if you're a competitive person, and you're a driven person, that you want that. And I think that a lot of New Japan wrestlers and New Japan probably execs and fans see AEW as a company that's coming in and poaching all their stars, right? And then you see the end of the Tanahashi match, and it's Jay White, it's Okada, it's Will Ospreay. Shibata's different and Ibushi's different, but they're there with AEW too. It's like it was one after one after one after another. It is all these guys that left New Japan and they're now in AEW. There's a lot of extenuating circumstances to why that is. It's not like it was a predatory thing. These are just business deals, but I could see why you would think that. So like, I think it's okay if like New Japan's your team and you're on that team like Yota Tsuji, that you're like, look, we don't need these guys around. We can do this shit ourselves. Like they can go do their thing and we can do our annual show together. But we don't need Takesha, an outsider, coming in and holding our championship. I think it's okay to say that.
I agree. I don't think it's, I understand, especially he's trying to be the guy, right? It's very clear Yota Tsuji, people that had tabs him to be the guy. And like, it's no secret that a lot of people had a lot of hope in that generation of dojo talent.
Yeah.
And it has not panned out really. Like, and again, part of its problem is probably Gato. Gato hadn't pulled the trigger on anybody. Right. And like, and here's the thing too, is you can sit there and say, well, look at all these guys that Will Ospreay's a Rev Pro guy, right? Jay White's from New Zealand. Okada did not start his career in New Japan, right? You know what I'm saying? Like all these guys moved to New Japan because it was better opportunities. None of those guys were New Japan true dojo guys. Like Jay White trained in, oh, my light just died. Jay White trained in the dojo, like after he had been a pro for a while. Like, so this is just the nature of business, right?
Yeah.
It just kind of
guys move companies all the time. King makes a good point, and I'm going to counterpoint him. Because he's also one of these guys that makes fun of TNA when WWE signs their talent. Says all these problems are with poaching are fixed, and New Japan paid these guys money. New Japan doesn't have the money to pay them, so it's not like they're being cheap. They just can't afford to pay them. But it's the same situation with TNA and WWE. WWE signing these people, and TNA can't do a goddamn thing about it, right? And TNA is not going to stand in the way.
I'm gonna fix my light real quick. Give me 1 second. Continue.
Okay. But since we're on the topic of Yota Tsuji, I watched the Yota Tsuji defeat Konosuke Takeshita, and that match was awesome. I personally think I liked Okada Tanahashi better. Now, some of the younger people think that would probably say that it was Takeshita and Yota Tsuji was the better one, but I feel I was more emotionally invested in the Tanahashi match, so I don't really care that they were moving a little slower. I don't need all of that, but I did love the Takeshita and Yota Tsuji match, and I'm so glad that they finally put the belt on Yota Tsuji. He's a guy that I'm really interested in following, and he might bring me back to New Japan a little bit more often. I only watched a handful of matches this last year in New Japan, and for all the reasons that I said earlier, they lost all their greatest stars. And like this young crop coming up, just hadn't really done it for everybody. But Yota Tsuji was a guy that I thought would be interesting as a top wrestler. And he's finally made it. I'm curious to see where it goes. Now, unfortunately, what they did after the match, so they have this amazing match, and they finally crown Yota Tsuji. He defeats him with a fucking lion tamer, a Boston Crab, and it was awesome. Don't get me wrong. And Takeshita submits, and look, they put Yota Tsuji over. Like that's how you put him over, right? You fucking submit in the middle of the ring, and then you get out of the ring after the match is over. And that's what they did. But then unfortunately, fucking Jake Lee comes in and attacks Yota Tsuji, and I got no interest in Jake Lee. Like he's been around a long time. Yeah, he was an All Japan guy. He'd had a run in Noah, and now he's in New Japan. And I'll be honest, I forgot that he was in New Japan because, like I said, I'm not watching a ton. And he comes in and just attacks him, and I'm just like, oh my god! I just kind of rolled my eyes. Like I'm not really interested in seeing Yota Tsuji versus Jake Lee.
That's a dark state of New Japan if we're pushing it. Because I'm a huge Kenta Miyahara fan. Love Kenta Miyahara. I watched him carry Jake Lee to a lot of really good matches, but Jake Lee is a 0 on charisma.
Yeah.
And always has been. Like he's a guy, you look at him, you should be the guy. He should be all right. He just isn't.
No. And I think maybe like his lack of facial expression is part of the gimmick, but he doesn't emote on the TV. So it always seemed like everything he does that he doesn't really care. And maybe that's the gimmick, but if you don't care, neither do I. Right?
Mhm.
Because Naito used to do the gimmick where he doesn't give a shit, but he was doing it and he was cool, like, and
Yeah.
it worked. I don't think that Jake Lee is doing this gimmick where he doesn't give a shit. I just think he's just kind of out there and
The
doesn't know how to
difference
emote.
the difference between the two is Naito can act like he doesn't give a fuck, and that's the tranquilo thing, and he's aloof. But when he puts it into gear, like old school Naito, when it push came to shove and it was time to go, that guy could find another gear. Jake Lee never gets out of second gear, ever.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen. Good kicks, great kicks, but
Yeah.
just never gets to that next level. Never has.
Yoda beat the DDT guy. No, this is one of the top stars in AEW. He beat the AEW guy with the New Japan Young Lion submission. No, like, yeah, no, yeah. The night before, Takeshita was doing some stuff. I'm not gonna be mean, but he was doing some DDT stuff, and it was quite vulgar and sexualized. And I'm just like you're the champion. Why are you going over there and doing that nonsense with DDT? But that's what they do.
Mike, he is a DDT guy.
I know.
Like that's like it's like Kenny Omega. Like you go to DDT, you do DDT shit. Like DDT is stupid, and there's people that will tell you how great DDT is, and they're fucking irritating. And I hate DDT, but Kanosuke Takeshita, and he hasn't done anything stupid in a long time, so I'll cut him some slack. But I agree. The night before you're gonna lose the title to act like a fucking idiot, I don't.
Yeah. Can you carry yourself with a little bit of dignity like a world champion?
I mean, I don't think that's fair because I think he has been for a long time.
Yes.
But just like you go to DDT and you just, I don't know, man. There's something
you got to do some dumb shit. Like Tanahashi recently went to DDT and did some dumb shit too. I get it. Like that's what you do when you go to DDT. It's like going to a comedy show and you're just gonna get into it. It's like going to Saturday Night Live or something. You're gonna do some dumb shit. But I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't really look. Obviously, I'm not a DDT guy. It doesn't appeal to me. So
I feel about a lot of WWE shit too, and always have. They feel they do a lot of stupid shit over there too. But whatever.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Tanahashi retired, and Yota Tsuji is the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I still have some more to watch on Wrestle Kingdom. I'm gonna get to it.
Same. I have a question for the chat. How was Aaron Wolf in his debut? How did Aaron Wolf look? That's been one of the big questions.
I think King said that we need to watch the Aaron Wolf match. So I will go back and watch that. And I think Siori had a match that he recommended. I can't find it in the chat here. Okay. But because chat's lively tonight. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Yeah, Aaron Wolf was awesome. So the last stuff I saw from Aaron Wolf, he did not look awesome. Dave said that he was worse wrestler than Gable Steveson, but we'll have to, wow, that's what Dave said, but that's what he said like a week ago. He didn't say that after this Wrestle Kingdom match. So JD specifically will love Aaron Wolf. Yeah, because Aaron Wolf's a judo gold medalist, right?
Yes, judo gold medalist, one of Japan's greatest judokas of this era. So I assume that means that he was throwing the shit out of Evil. So I will go back and watch that for sure.
Yeah.